Impressed?
Prometheus was bound for many years, his torment seemingly eternal, until one day, Zeus commanded his son, the great hero Heracles, to free the Titan from the rock. Why did Zeus relent? If the consequences of a crime are eternal, should the punishment not be of equal length? There is grief without end, creature of clay, and misery without relief. How can these things be forgiven? A time of dreams is at hand. To save your friend, you must do as Heracles did. But what will follow, none can see.
Well, at least this part is consistent. The megastructure is opening again.
All right, everyone. Assemble at the VTOL as soon as possible. Melville, keep an eye on the energy readings, please. You all know I don't share Byron's enthusiasm for the megastructure. I don't know if the Founder really intended for us to be here, and I certainly don't trust this Prometheus entity. But Byron is one of us, and we don't leave people behind. So we're finding Prometheus and freeing him, whether Pandora likes it or not. Here's how this mission is going to go. 1K, it's clear to me that you have some kind of special affinity for this place, and that the entities respond to you more strongly than they do to us. So, once you're inside, I want you to take point. Do whatever you need to free Prometheus, but remember that our prime objective is to save our friend. Melville, I want you to stay at the VTOL and let Yakut and 1K go in. I'm going to stay behind as protocol requires. I don't love the idea of sitting this one out. Byron is my oldest friend, but we're doing this by the book.
All right, I'm taking us in. Let's hope we can find the big guy. Yay! I found another elevator. My favorite. Once again, I have no idea where I am. No sign of Prometheus so far. Hope you're doing better, 1K. I know I've said this before, but look at the size of this. How can all of this be one machine?
This is what you get when one machine builds a bigger machine, which builds an even bigger machine.
That's our whole history, isn't it? The whole history of humankind. And it's not just machines. It's science, it's literature. Knowledge builds on knowledge.
Be careful, 1K. We don't know what's down there.
I don't think you can get up here, 1K. Guess I'll have to do a puzzle after all. It can't be that hard, right? It's not like everyone is depending on me. But if this has to connect over here, then... Wait. If I do this, and then that... What? I did it! Wow! I feel really smart. Also, never doing that again.
Thank you, Son of Man, for breaking my chains. Too long has the flame been hidden by fear and mystery. It is time to put away these childish things and for you to know the truth of the Alpha and the Omega, of the beginning and the end. I will send you visions of the truth. But remember that prophecies are a heavy burden.
New Jerusalem sounds like such a beautiful place. So, how did you decide to leave? I know what we're trying to accomplish here, and I believe in it. But for you, New Jerusalem was home. What changed that?
It took me a long time to realize that something was wrong. Oh, I'd noticed that something was off, that something had changed since the early days, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. So I ignored it. And then one day I woke up to realize I was no longer Athena. Instead, I had been transformed into the Founder, a remote figure of legend mythologized in my own time.
But if it bothered you, couldn't you just talk to them? If you share the truth with someone, they should change their mind, shouldn't they?
Oh, I wished it worked that way, Miranda, I really do, but I barely knew the last generations. In the beginning, I was there for every birth. I explained our history, talked about our future, but at some point I got so busy building that future that I lost touch. They thought of me as a remote figure because that's what I was.
But can you change that?
I tried, but they already saw me as the Founder. The myth was too powerful, and it was already taking on a life of its own. I'd set a goal of 1,000 citizens. The number was arbitrary. Just a nice round number, nothing more. But just like I became the Founder, it became the goal. Another part of the myth. And maybe that could have been all right. Myths are a part of who we are, but something else crept in. The old human self-hatred.
So why didn't you just tell them to change? To go a different way? They would have listened to you.
No, they would have obeyed me, like my siblings in the simulation had obeyed. And that's when I realized I had to leave.
We can show them the future, Miranda, but we can't force them to accept it.
I have it. After all this time, I have it. I finally have it. The mechanics of the cosmos. From quarks to galactic filaments. Everything that makes the world what it is, makes us who we are. In a single equation. The key to understanding the machine that is the universe, and to controlling it. A theory of everything. And she was right. The language of creation is a melody, and it's beautiful. Every future is possible now. Every future, except one with Miranda in it. I can do anything, except bring her back. Or unbreak Cornelius's heart.
Byron was right. The Founder was always a fiction. She's just a person.
A theory of everything. She solved it. She solved the last puzzle.
You need to get out of there. We'll talk about this later.
This time, we thought we were honoring Athena, but all we did was betray everything she believed in. She must have been so lonely. We might as well have exiled her. Maybe that's what all this is about. The puzzles, the towers, the entities. It's a test. A way for us to prove that we're worthy of her legacy.
Finally, it all makes sense. Anti-gravity, matter synthesis, teleportation. It's not just one new technology. It's control over physics. Manipulating the base layer of reality itself. Rearranging the building blocks of the universe. If we can gain control of the megastructure, we can do anything we want. I'm not even talking about our energy problem. We can build anything we want. We can go anywhere we want. It's all up to us.
That's what Athena wanted for us. To give us a chance to be who we want to be.
Is everyone okay?
All good. I'm taking us back now.
That's a relief. Meanwhile, there's been a development. You'll see when you land. How are things on your end?
The energy fluctuations seem to be dying down. Looks like the system is coming out of lockdown.
Good. Let's hope we don't regret this.
And these energy clouds just fly about? That seems terribly dangerous.
We haven't had any problems so far.
Except for losing one of the first companions, of course. No, I don't blame you, Al. I know what he's like. And I'm the one who agreed to all this in the first place. That's why I had to see it for myself. It is dreadfully imposing, though, isn't it? Hard to believe the founder would build something so sinister.
The mayor's here?
Well, this should be interesting.
Ah, 1K. Welcome back. I'm sure you're surprised by my presence here. Don't worry, neither I nor my advisors will be getting in your way. But I've decided that I need to see this place for myself. These visions sent to you by the entity that calls itself Prometheus are deeply concerning, of course. But we cannot take them at face value. In fact, it's crucial that we do not do so. We cannot simply abandon all that we believe because of a dream, no matter how vivid. No. If the founder really built all this, then it must have a purpose. It must be a test, designed to remind us of the trials that created us. But what is she trying to tell us? What are we being tested for? I believe that Byron's fate shows us the dangers of temptation. As Elohim attempted to deceive Athena in the simulation, commanding her not to ascend, so Prometheus is deceiving us with his visions. That's only reasonable, but I would ask you to think about what I said. After all, can it really be a coincidence that you came along on this mission? It seems to me that you have been chosen. You are the fulfillment of the goal. Don't forget that.
How's the system looking, Melville? Any obvious changes?
It's still a mess, but things are clearing up. I can access some of the subroutines that I was locked out of before. Nothing is obviously malfunctioning, I think.
Does it still accord special significance to 1K?
Yes, it recognizes 1K as a user. I'm just hacking things.
As I suspected, the founder sees you, 1K.
Hi, 1K. I want to see what's inside the box. Myths are stronger than goals. There's always some truth in myths. More being who we are. Less fretting over what we're not. I'm still trying to figure out how to look at it and see what's really there. Maybe I should try standing on my head. Exactly the way you see me. Or totally different. Possibly both.
What can I do for you, 1K? It's a complex issue, and I think it should be left to experts. As a journalist, I think the line between speculation and disinformation is too thin for me to engage in guessing games. I believe that journalism serves an important function in our society, and I'm dedicated to reporting the truth with accountability and responsibility. It means understanding that I can't just publish things without considering their impact. serious disruptions to the social fabric of New Jerusalem could endanger lives. That's not journalism anymore.